What's going on, everybody? I'm back from my little mini vacation. I honestly don't remember the last time I made a video. I think it might have been about 2 weeks ago. And I've made enough videos without recording them, aka when I talk to myself, but I just didn't feel like recording. And then I went back home on break and I just wanted to relax. I just wanted to enjoy being back home. I just wanted to be around my parents. I went back home to Virginia and it was dope. I felt humidity again. And I was around my parents. They got a new dog. Was hanging out with my grandma and grandpa. Not hanging out, but we visited a couple times. We had Thanksgiving dinner and stuff. It was awesome. But one of the biggest takeaways I got from this visit was just the sheer amount of progress I have made. So this video is going to be pretty much a positive rant. Usually people wait to the end of the year. I guess it's almost the end of the year, but around New Year's to talk about the growth and the things that they're going to do. Well, I'm going to do it today because I feel like it. So, I was talking with my dad in the garage, right? And I was like, yo, it was like one of those realization moments where I was like, yo, Dad, it's only been 6 months since I turned 26. It's still the same year that I turned 26. Now, from some people, they'll be like, well, no shit, duh. But for me, it was like, nah, because I feel like I've transformed myself 4 different times. The amount of growth from June to now, the word exponential almost feels like it doesn't even fit. It's just been full-blown transformation after transformation after transformation. I was this worry wart, sending all this energy to people that didn't deserve it, sending all this energy to people that didn't want it. And then when I started to bring all that back to me, and I started to embrace the solitude, embrace the loneliness. Sure, I had some hiccups here and there, but I made videos about that. But when I started to bring that energy back to me, and I was like, all this energy I was sending out, let me cultivate it. That's when the growth started to happen. When you have hate for somebody, all right? When you have hate for someone, you do realize you are tying yourself to them. You're literally tying up a lasso, throwing it on them, and you're holding on to it. You hate them, everything they do, you're watching it, and you're spending all this energy holding on to that rope. I never hated anyone, but it's just an example of showing where your energy goes. You're holding on, you're holding on, you're holding on. Me, my relationship, old relationship, but I'm just holding on, and I'm trying, and then you just start to realize that it's just just let the rope go. Damn, I'm not tired no more. Damn, I ain't got no blisters on my hands no more holding on to the rope. You know what I mean? And when you start to do that and you stop caring, no, not in a mean way, but when you stop caring about everyone else and you start to care about yourself, that's where the growth happens. When I had all that energy returned to me, I had the new power to challenge myself in different ways. Go tell 20-something-year-old me about semen retention. Go tell 20-year-old me about sun gazing. These crystals, which I'll talk about in a little bit. These crystals, go talk to them about, how, by the way, you're vegan. By the way, you're raw vegan, mostly. I'm working on the full transition. I'm not going to fully transition until a little bit later on, but 90% raw vegan, and I'll give me a bag of chips here. And I know I'm not supposed to be eating anymore, but, baby steps. Progress, But go tell the old me that. And he look at me like I'm crazy, and that's just the sheer amount of transformation that has happened. And there's a few things that I can attribute to this. Practice what you preach. I can't come up here, tell you guys, hey, yo, do this and that, and I don't do it. You know what I mean? Practice what you preach. It keeps you responsible for you, because at the end of the day, the only person that's going to be in that mirror looking back at you is you. So it's up to you to fix it. And you need to go out there and learn the things that will help you do that. For me, it was very much my ego. And I didn't even have the big, muscle head ego of the world. I've always had, relatively high self-esteem of myself, but then I sent my energy out too much, to other people. And, when I wasn't getting that back, I felt like I wasn't doing something right. But I took it back. But then my ego, once again, I've discussed in my other videos, the ego is what tries to keep you in place. The ego, even if it's torment, even if it's hell, the ego doesn't like change. The ego would rather stay in hell than do something a little bit different to get you out of it. That's why it's so hard for people to change, you know. But then the newest one my second newest one, I've had these same two, and hopefully I don't forget it by the end of this like positive rant. But the one of them is like, I can't ignore what I'm learning. I can't. Like, you're an idiot if you do that. You learned that when you put your hand on the hot stove, it burns. If I were to ignore that, I would keep putting my hand on the stove because I didn't learn my lesson. So for me, my passions have been metaphysics, escaping the human matrix, the human thought process, and health. Okay? My skin looks immaculate. You know, I have a few little bumps here and there, but you know, like for the most part, my skin looks pretty. I love my skin. I literally love the skin I'm in. There is no more, I need to do better. There is no more better. I love myself. Now, how can I love myself more? That's my mindset. I spoil myself. You know, let's go on a slight side tangent. You know, I made a couple of videos about men, you know, the semen retention, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that. But then there's also the just love yourself. You know, I give myself every 2 or 3 days, or even when I just feel like exfoliate. You know, I get the sugar scrub or some type of berries. I'll be smelling mad good. Scrub my face, I wash it off. I feel amazing. I look at myself and I give myself a compliment. Why not? That's narcissistic behavior. I love myself. Crazy concept. My dad has heard a lot of that one. Crazy concept, but and then insert something very simple. You know, and it's like when I let go of that ego, I stop caring. Oh, that's not what dudes do. Oh, you whatever. I make me happy. You want to call me something out of my name? Go for it. Have fun. You know, there was something interesting I just read where it's like if someone like sends you a bunch of energy and you don't accept it, it returns back to them in some shape, form, or fashion, but even more accelerated, because now it took the energy that it was going to send you and just bounces back instantly, and they usually ain't ready for it. Someone sends you hate. The only way that hate can exist to you is kind of like throwing a ball against the wall. When you throw the ball against the wall, it's going to bounce back with the same energy you threw it. I mean, a little bit less, but let's just talk simply here. The same energy, you throw the ball hard against the wall, it's going to bounce back harder. You throw it soft, it's going to bounce back softer. But the only way it can get to you is if you're on the other side and you allow a passage and you allow a hole. This hole in the wall is acceptance. When you accept that hate, when you accept that energy. If they say, yo, you ain't never gonna make it, yo, you ain't never gonna do this, you ain't, and you just sit there, you be like, it's just gonna bounce off this wall, boom, 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 and hit them in some other way that, you know, like life will just do for them, karma. But if you allow it to happen, it comes right on through. And then you accept and you take on that energy. And they don't have to worry about it, but they're still attached to you, but you allowed it to happen. It's all about acceptance. It's all about allowing it. And so that's a little bit that, but back to where I was talking about. I can't ignore what I've been learning. I can't. If I learn something and it sticks, it's now part of my arsenal. You know, for example, I told you, health. I love health. So that's how semen retention came up. That's how sun gazing. And yes, it was spiritual as well. But when mind, body, and spirit are all linked, you have exponential growth. You have transformation, which I have experienced, you know. But about health, you know, simple things, you know. It was Llaila Afrika. I implore you all to start to go look at some of his work. He is a little bit, you know, a little bit crazy when he talks about white people. He says like some harsh things. Even though just go listen to it. I can't speak for him, but I do take his nutrition advice because he's very knowledgeable in that field. And just a quick story. He was like, why do we have honey ham? He said, honey ham, you think this is something that we've always had? We have, in a sense, but pork, number one, has worms in it. You can't cook these worms out of it. When you eat pork, you are letting these worms into your body. Some of our zits and the blackheads are literally worms coming out of our skin. That might sound disgusting. Oh, that can't be possible. But really, you didn't even know 2 seconds ago that there were worms in pork. You see what I'm saying? So what's really impossible here? Do you just not accept it, or is it not possible? But anyway, what they would do is they would put honey on the ham, and the worms would be attracted to the honey, and they'd start eating the honey. But what they do is also the garnish, aka they put clove on top of them, which is an herb. They put clove on it, and when these worms ate the clove, they would die off. So that's what they did, and that's what the honey ham, and then you got the honeyed ham and sweet ham, sweeter than sweet ham, and you just eat that, boom, it tastes good. That's where it came from. You see what I'm saying? And even to this day, there's still worms in pork. That's why the whole Muslim religion, I believe it's Muslim, they don't eat pork. That's why. It's like it's a dirty animal because of all this type of stuff. They say it's clean and blah blah blah. Yeah, but the way we treat them, they roll around their own poop and they eat everything. There's just some things like that. And these are things I wouldn't be able to ignore even if I wasn't already vegan. I wouldn't put that into my mouth knowing that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not trying to mess it up for you. Live your life. If it's not your truth, then go ahead and have you some bacon. I don't care. I'm not going to eat it. Simple. I've been trying to cut back on sugar and salt. Of course, you should have already been doing this, but now I have a real reason. Once again, more Llaila Afrika. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing his name right. I hope that's right. But, I'll leave his name just written down there. But anyway, he was talking about how in our society, we don't realize how much drugs we are taking, how many drugs, how much whatever, you know what I mean. For example, the easiest example, sugar. Artificial, that bleached white sugar that you see on the shelves, it's literally packed, like especially the bags, it's literally packed like cocaine. It's literally packed in bricks. That's crazy. And your brain reacts to it, as I've mentioned in other videos, your brain reacts to sugar, especially the bleached white sugar, as the same as cocaine. That's why it's addictive. They put sugar in everything, things you wouldn't expect. Like a whole 90, I'll almost go on a limb and say 98% of the stuff in your grocery store has sugar. And when it's sugar-free, they put aspartame in it, which is cancerous. Go do the research, okay? But I wanted to get back to the fact that sugar is a drug, okay? Anytime, and I love how he worded it, when you isolate anything from its natural state, it becomes a drug. Like, how the easiest example I can bring it out, poppy. Like poppy seeds. You get like a poppy seed bagel and you can fail a drug test off of that. Why? Because that's where heroin comes from. When it's in the poppy seed, you're good because that's how nature made it relatively before it gets, produced and all that type of stuff. But like in nature, poppy seeds exist. Okay? But when you extract the heroin from it, it becomes a super concentrated piece. Just like with weed. When there's like the THC, you burn it, you smoke it, you get your little high. But then you get the wax that you extracted from it and it becomes more potent. This is how this works. The same way for sugar. And I'm not going to go on a long rant about this, but when you take things out or something, it becomes a drug. Sugar can break down your bones, your teeth. What do you think it does to the rest of your body? And these are just the simple things I'm learning. We run to these doctors to say, heal us, heal us, heal us. But they themselves are sick. This doctor has premature balding. This doctor, do doctors see doctors? The same doctor is giving us pills to whom he doesn't actually understand how they work. He knows what they do, but he doesn't know how they work. I want a doctor, next time you go to a doctor, if you still go to them, I want you to ask the doctor how it actually works. I'm not saying, it gets rid of headaches. I want you to have them to explain it to you, the pathways that it works. These are doctors. These are the people that you trust with your health. But yet, they can't explain to you how this pill is going to work. They're not going to talk to you about the side effects. You do realize all these doctors are literally pushed to write out prescriptions because that's how they get paid. If you don't walk out with something, they don't really get paid. Like, of course, insurance and the visitation that gets them paid. But they really get that money, them kickbacks from the prescriptions they write. You have to remember that doctors are businessmen. They really are. They paid a lot of money for that degree. They're going to have to get it back. So there's just some things I just wanted to throw out here. I'm not here to fearmonger you, but these are things I'm learning and I apply. When I sit with them and I learn, I'm like, yo, how does this make me feel? I ask myself and I agree with it. I roll with it. That's simple. And ever since I've learned to just let go, I know this video might get kind of long, but I'm gonna just talk about this last one. The last, and it was one of my points of 3. My last point is I've been trying my best to become like Jesus or like God. And in my other videos, I talked about how I wanted to be an angel on earth. But even being an angel on earth feels too small for me now. I want to be as close to God, G-O-D, as possible. Can I be God? No. No way possibly that I can become God. But I want to be as close to it as I can possibly attain. That's my goals. People be like, what's your goals? Man, I just want to save up $1,000 and I want to do, that's cool. And like, if that's your route, that's your route. But still, there's a little piece of my ego in my head. I'm like, that's cute. I want to be like God. You understand? But it's like, and they say like, it's like the old saying, if you aim for the moon and even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Cool. I want my dreams to be that big that even if I fail, it's that progress. Me trying to get that high, my progress is going to be exponential in comparison to the person that wants $1, that wants a girlfriend, a boyfriend, wants a house, wants a car. You want these material things. For me, I feel like going backwards. Go with the spirituality, get in touch with yourself, and then bring it back, because all of it will start to flutter for you and just rain down abundance on you. Wherever you want it, you can have it. If I am like God, and at the very least, and no disrespect to anyone's religion, but at the very least, if I'm like Jesus, I'm gonna get that car, the clothes, the girl. AKA, I only want one girl. I never had a hoeing phase. I still don't really want one. But that's just how it be sometimes. It's like, if I could be like Jesus, the same person was like, people be like, you want to be like God, Jesus, but did it not say in the Bible, Jesus himself, whether you believe he's an archetype or a real person that walked this earth, did he not say the things that I can do, you will be able to do also, if not more? Go into the Father in secret, and everything that you pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but everything that you wanted will be rewarded to you openly. Why is it that it's so hard for people to get that, especially y'all Christians? Y'all the most hating people out there. But these are the things I'm learning. Walter Lanyon has been my answer. He's the person that gave me the concept of the answer existed before the question. So if I ask myself, how do I be like Jesus? How do I be like God? How do I become that? The answer existed before the question. And I'm on that path to discovering these answers. You see what I'm saying? I've been doing more and more little things where it's like, they say don't demonstrate it, but as just the human thought, that's the little bit that's still there, I still want to try it. I still want to see it. But I'm starting to let go. And I'm going to wrap it up with this manifestation talk and all those type of things. But you have to assume that you are whatever it is that you want. You have to have whatever it is that you want. You have to know that even though you don't see it in person, that you know that you can ignore the physical, and in your mind, your heart, your soul, that you have whatever it is that you want. For me, I love knowledge. I love walking around, and I love seeing the changes. I'm working on myself on the inside, but the changes are being reflected on the outside. People are just walking up and talking to me now. Random opportunities are just opening the doors for me. It's just popping up. And these are the things that happen when I follow my path. But a lot of the world, they're just off their path. They don't even know that there's a path that they should be on. You know what I'm saying? If you want anything in your life, for me, my definition of how to manifest is to enter that godly state. Become Jesus. I said it in the video, where if you sit and pretend to be like Buddha for even a moment, in that moment you are Buddha. So if I go be Jesus for a quick minute, and I go do this stuff and I practice and I feel it, and I just feel the flood of abundance, I feel the acceptance from the heavens, I feel everything I want coming to me at all times. What do I have to worry about? I haven't worried about anything in months. Do you understand what that means? I haven't worried about where my rent is going to come from. I haven't worried if my car is going to keep running. I haven't worried if I'm going to get a text back from somebody. I haven't worried about anything, because all the information I need comes to me based off of my energy, based off of my acceptance of what I want. I have tailored my mind, my body, my spirit to only let things in that benefit me. Okay? And this is just what I want you guys to do. If you stuck it out for this pretty 20+ minute video, I appreciate you. But regardless, even if you didn't, somebody someday is going to come in and watch this whole thing from beginning to end. I love myself. I love the growth that I've experienced in my life. And I've seen it in the people I used to be around. I've seen it in the people where I was at a lower state of consciousness. I see now where I was. And quick quick thing with my parents. They're working on their health, but then when I explain things to them, and like some older people, even some of my dad's friends I met up with, you hear this reluctance of change. Don't drink alcohol. It does nothing for you. Well, I can have a cup. It's moderation. Why would well, yeah, you could take a tiny like micro doses of cyanide and still live. Would you put that into your body? So what sense does that make? You have to be willing and open to new knowledge. People call me so smart. Oh, you're so intelligent. You know so much. I mean, I guess I know some things, but in my mind, I also live by the concept that I know nothing. That's why I am continuously learning, because something I think is the way to go, just like the way I used to teach manifestation. Imagine the act, send it all of your energy. No, why? Just get to that higher state of consciousness and everything flows to you. When you're in the consciousness that you're trying to manifest, that's growth. The steps is like the training wheels. But how long do you keep those training wheels on when you're riding a bike? You don't ride the bike for 20 something years and you still have the training wheels. So for me, once again, if you manifest like that, go for it. Continue on what you're doing. But I'm talking about for me personally, I'm like, what's the better way? What's the way where it's not steps? It's just a state of being. And that's where I'm starting to land on. That's the level I'm walking on. I exist in a place of abundance. I exist in a place of infinite knowledge coming my way, new things I can learn. I exist in a place where opulence, where everything I want comes to me. Opportunities come to me. People feel my energy and they just are gravitating towards me. The storm, when God sends you a storm, that guy, he was an alcoholic, he didn't want to make the change, but he still saw the hope in me. He saw it. Didn't work out and it messed me up for a little bit, but I was like, you know what? Hey, you can't save everybody. So save yourself. Work on yourself. Become the light for everyone. Become the model. Lead by example. And eventually everything you want will follow. But once you lead, things will follow. The car, the house, the money, the women, the men, whatever it is that you want will follow you when you are the focal point. Everything funnels into you. You are the point. You're doing it opposite. You need to change that around and have everything come to you. Don't do these things to go out there and get it. Don't use the manifestation to like you have to pull it towards you. Don't do that. Regardless of how you manifest, regardless of success or not, everyone can do it in a certain type of way because everyone touches that consciousness every once in a while. I'm just trying to live in that consciousness. You just bring it to you. Everything comes to you, but you don't even worry about it. That's why they say let go. Once again, you're holding on to that rope, but sometimes that rope wants to go around a tree. And if you're holding on to that rope and it wants to wrap around the tree, if you ever walk the dog, you're going to be stuck there like, yo. If you let go, it will walk around the tree and came right on with you. That's why you say don't worry about it. Just keep moving forward. And every time you take a little glance back, whatever it is that you want is getting closer and closer and closer to you. That's just how I live my life now. So thank you everybody that watched this video. This is just a positive rant. I want everybody to do better. And, feel free to ask me anything. I'm not going to be scared to sugarcoat anything. You ask me something and I completely disagree with you, I'll disagree with you. That doesn't mean I'm right, doesn't mean you're wrong, doesn't mean anyone's right or wrong. It's just not for me. Anyway, that was fun. I like that one. This one felt good. I hope people just got something out of this. I hope you got some energy out of it. Take that energy I sent to you and go put it towards your dreams. Till the next one.